haunted by Beyonce. By the way, we just learned she's going to return to the Met Gala next year. The theme is costume art. She's just going to be center stage. Jason is now center stage. Going to be windy outside there today, Jason.
I know. I can actually see our camera there, that live shot we were just showing, is kind of moving around just a little bit. The true heart of our cold front hasn't even arrived yet, friends. So that shake that you saw there on the camera, I don't know if you saw that though, is going to be shaking mightily as we head towards noon later today and certainly into the afternoon. It is a bit of a soft glow to the horizon again this morning as we wake up on this cold Thursday morning. We're actually getting colder. So that is the other side of the coin that we have to talk about. The winds and the cold weather will unfortunately be our foe, okay? They're not going to be our friend. It's actually going to be our foe later today here. That wind advisory going into effect at 10 a.m. Gusty winds across the area, especially for the South Shore, Cape and the Islands, and some of the surrounding areas could actually exceed 40 miles per hour. We're talking about gusts upwards at about 50. Okay, so let's talk about the temperatures as of right now, because not only are you going to experience the winds, you're also going to feel the changeover in temperatures. We have a range of 30s right along the Atlantic coast all the way down through the Carolinas there. Teens and 20s not that far away, even beginning to move into Western Mass as of right now. Downstream, though, from Lake Ontario and also Lake Erie, we're actually beginning to see some flakes beginning to kind of tiptoe into the Berkshires as of right now. I'm expecting some of these flakes to move into Worcester. And look at that. There is a cold front. It's actually beginning ready to push off to the Cape as of right now. So that means, friends, we're actually going to start to experience those higher winds moving into the region. Current temperatures right now are down to 30 degrees over in Worcester right now. We're at 37 in Boston, so we've actually slipped a degree since about 30 minutes or so ago. These temperatures that you see here are actually the warmest of the day, and that means by the end of the day, we're talking about 20s moving back in. Winds are going to be dialing up here in the city anywhere between 30 and 35 miles per hour later today. And notice our temperatures around 10 a.m. We're going to be right on the nose of the freezing mark. Plenty of sunshine, though. Look at that. And even as we head past noon, from 30 to 28 to 25, and even by 10 p.m., ouch, 23 degrees, unfortunately. Believe it or not, we actually have a little bit of snow back in the forecast as well. And for some areas, they're actually going to receive just a little bit of a dusting there. I believe on Saturday, we're just going to be talking about some flakes moving on in. We'll be around the mid-30s there. So nothing is going to stick on the ground. The best chance of getting some sticking snow will likely be on Sunday with another system crawling into the region, but largely remaining to the south of us here. So game day, okay, getting you started here. We'll be around the mid to lower 30s there for tailgating on Sunday. Its kickoff is going to happen around 1 p.m. We'll be right around the freezing mark, and by the end of the game, we're going to be back into the upper 20s. So let's walk this thing forward here. You can see behind me that area of low pressure moving out of the Midwest and moving since areas south there, mainly down towards the Delmarva region there. And as we see, we're going to be on the north side of the storm system, which means we're going to be on the cold side of it, and we're actually going to be bringing in some extra moisture there. So I think we're actually going to have some appreciable snow as we get into Sunday evening, okay? And that means it's going to be a snowy game. And it's going to be a very visual holiday representation from New England across the television screens on Sunday afternoon. Now prepare yourselves for Monday, because that is the coldest of the next 7. Larger remaining in the mid to upper 20s in the afternoon, Chris, with steadily warming up by midweek next week, but only topping out around the lower 40s.
Wow. Okay, Jason, thank you. Hey, a number of local veterans are going to catch the Army-Navy game on Saturday at a big event in Woburn. Levin out live there this morning. He's showing us how veterans organizations are using this to support the men and women who served our country. Lev, it's been a great morning so far.
It's been fantastic, Chris. You know, you're here at Scoreboard Sports Bar and Grill, and I will say this place is going to be alive with Army. We have one Navy fan, buddy, who just walked in. Army-Navy game on Saturday, her family luncheon. And I will say this, Bob, you've been doing this for 22 years. What's it like to put on this luncheon and see more and more people come through?
It's amazing, all the folks that come, whether they be veterans or civilians, to support Operation Santa, Massachusetts, raise some money for these worthy kids. It's just incredible. We went from having way back in 2004, 20 people show up. Now we're up to 300.
Yeah, and we talk about you're raising awareness. You're putting out raffles for people to do it, and you know that people who come here, you don't have to be in the military, but you have to come and support.
Correct. Yeah, it's America's game, the Army-Navy football game. We want everybody to come support this great cause and have a good time.
Yeah, one of the many different programs that they have here is the Gold Star Moms, and Robin's here. First, what are the Gold Star Moms? And then talk about your son, by the way.
Gold Star Moms are an organization that started in 1928. We're coming up on our 100-year anniversary. And we support veterans and military, active military, and other Gold Star mothers.
Yeah.
we're really a great support system within ourselves.
Tell me about your son.
My son, Jason, he served from 2004 to 2007. He was a combat veteran. He served over in Iraq. He passed from severe PTSD. He struggled for quite a few years. He passed when he was 35. Left me with a beautiful granddaughter. She was 7 at the time. She's now 15. And she's a recipient of Operation Santa, and she has been.
I've got to ask you, Sarah, what is it like to hear the stories of how mothers are being helpful, how everybody's being helped? And again, goes all the way around. All this happens here.
Absolutely. I think this is a testament to the strength when the military and civilian community come together and just give thanks, right? I mean, Levin, we have less than 0.5% of our population is serving in the armed forces, and people like Robin's son, Jason, who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. Operation Santa is this tremendous way to be able to give back and say thank you to those who are serving and have served.
Real quick, how much do you all love what you do?
Oh, how can you not love this, right? And it's so exciting building up to the game. And I have to say, go Army, right? I have to get that in there. But we are so excited for Saturday and to keep this tradition going.
Same with you?
Absolutely. Go Army.
And obviously you?
Go Army.
By the way, I would say this, Chris, if you turn behind us, look, there he is. That's the Navy fan who decided to show up and say Semper Fi. He let everybody know how it's done. And so as much as we had an Army crowd, the Navy person just decided to come on in here. So I just want to make sure that everybody's represented. Chris, back to you.
That's what it's all about. It's the best rivalry in the country, Levin, and now for such a great cause locally. Thank you. Hey, right about now, the stress, the pressure really mounting for parents scrambling to get that last-minute gift for kids. All right, so how about something affordable, gets them outside, oozes nostalgia, and is made right here in Massachusetts?
It happens here. Wakefield. The Middlesex County town was built on manufacturing, and there's still one company making its products the way it was done 100 years ago.
This is a iconic business that we have here, and it's our gliders and toys have been sold all over the world.
This is Gwillows. Founded by Paul Gwillow in 1926, the model airplane and toy glider company will celebrate its centennial next year. President Tom Barker has been here for half that time.
So straight out of Wakefield High School, I came here and I started in 1975 and never left.
Tom's been with the company for 50 years, stewarding advances in manufacturing,
Laser cut wood, which is fantastic.
while shepherding a tradition built on generations of customers.
It's a great activity for father, son, mother, daughter, whatever, to put something together and go out and fly it and get away from the screen time.
These balsa wood gliders sell for as little as $3, come together in just seconds, and are just as entertaining as when you were a kid.
Oh, cool! Yeah! Oh, wow!
American made, American played for 100 years strong.
One of those things that there's not too many toys out there that are actually made in the U.S. and that, any kid could play with. Anywhere from 3 years old to 90.
And Gwillows was just named to the National Made in America Holiday Gift Guide. They've got more than 70 models, some of them really intricate, taking hours to build at higher price points. All right, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, a new phase of World Cup ticket sales starts today. What to know to try to get yours. this. Wild sight on the Green Line. That's a sports car stuck on the tracks in Brookline last night. Caused delays on the C branch. Shuttle buses briefly replaced the trains between Coolidge Corner and Cleveland Circle because of it. Hey, the Cannabis Control Commission could approve social consumption today. We spoke to the commission chair, who says the new regulations are likely to pass. Now, these would allow people to buy and use cannabis products at the same location. It would be up to each municipality to decide whether they allow those social consumption sites. Even if the new rules did pass today, it could take quite a while for the licenses to actually go out. Well, FIFA is rolling out its next phase of ticket sales for the World Cup starting today at 11 o'clock. Yeah, soccer fans can register to get tickets for specific matches. To enter the drawing, you got to head to the FIFA website, select a game, ticket category, and number of tickets. Registration's actually open until January 13th. FIFA is going to select the winners in February. Hey, security's ramping up for Saturday's annual Army-Navy game in Baltimore this year. President Trump expected to attend, and you can watch the 126th version of the rivalry 3 o'clock Saturday on WBZ. All right, coming up next, local World War II veterans set to revisit a European battlefield they helped liberate 80 years ago. We'll tell you about the project that's helping them get there.
You're watching WBZ News.
Hey, some World War II veterans from Massachusetts are heading back to Europe to mark 80 years since they fought in the Battle of the Bulge. 7 veterans got emotional send-offs last night before they headed to the airport to fly to Belgium. Their trip was organized by a Boston police officer who's actually helped bring dozens of World War II vets to Europe in recent years. 101-year-old Les Schrenk, he was a pilot in the war. He says he's got a lot of memories and is excited to go back to a place where he helped change the world.
I know it's not going to be just like it was when I was there, but I'm looking forward to see everything, and there's going to be so many people that maybe I can see and recognize. It's just an exciting trip. I'm honored to be a part of it.
Oh, sir, we're honored by you. Battle of the Bulge, of course, pivotal victory over Germany, really helped fuel the Allies win the war in Europe. Still to come in our next half hour, Karen Reed's SUV is going up for auction. We'll tell you where the proceeds will go.
CBS News Boston is now streaming live on our YouTube channel every morning from 7 to 10 a.m. So if you're watching us streaming on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel, CBS News Boston. Now, streaming on CBS News Boston, WBZ News Mornings continues with your top stories.
A security guard stabbed at a Boston medical center. We'll update you on his condition and what happened to the attacker. Healthcare and affordability taking center stage in the nation's capital. What to know as dueling bills head to the Senate today.
I promise you, nothing you say tonight will end up in the press.
Yeah, this feels like that.
And Taylor Swift gets candid with Stephen Colbert. How she unwinds and some of her own favorite songs from her catalog. A Boston Medical Center security guard is recovering this morning after being stabbed in the leg by a suspect who he confronted over stolen items. Welcome back. I'm Chris Tanaka. The suspect faced a judge yesterday. As WBZ's Logan Hall reports, the hospital says safety of its employees remains a top priority, but one union is questioning whether enough has been done.
Prosecutors describing a violent scene outside a Boston Medical Center where they say 37-year-old Brandon Bannister stabbed a security guard.
While public safety officers were attempting to gain control of Bannister, the victim realized that he was stabbed to his right leg and began hopping on one leg towards the entrance and proceeded to escort himself to Trauma 3.
Another security guard was slashed in his protective vest. Bannister was charged with 2 counts of assault with a deadly weapon as well as trafficking more than 18 grams of cocaine.
During the search incident to arrest, officers located a plastic bag containing a white rock-like substance believed to be crack cocaine off of the defendant, Mr. Bannister's person.
Defense attorneys for Bannister say he was at the hospital for the birth of his child when the altercation occurred.
He was in the hospital room with the mother of his child as she was in labor. She asked him to leave the room, and he did with his items. As he was leaving the room, he was stopped by hospital security. They accused him of taking things that weren't his. Those items were his, and then the altercation ensued from there. But the point that I'm making is that he has a child that has either just been born or is about to be born as he's here in court today.
Healthcare unions say this is part of a troubling trend in the area. Executive Vice President of 1199 SEIU United Healthcare Workers East said in a statement, quote, "We need our healthcare institutions and our state leaders alike to do more to protect the frontline workers who keep our healthcare system running." Bannister is being held on $50,000 bail and is expected to be back in court next month. Reporting in Boston, I'm Logan Hall, WBZ News.
All right, time now for a check of the next weather forecast. Good to see the sun, but we're going to be feeling the wind a lot today, Jason.
We had our chance yesterday, Chris, to melt a little bit of ice that we had on the Charles River, and now we're going to put some more back on top of it as well. Temperatures are going to be taking a tumble later today here, friends, but as Chris just said, it is a gorgeous start to our Thursday morning here. It actually even looks like winter outside with some of those fair weather clouds there. We actually have a cold front moving off of the Cape as of right now. It's actually bringing a healthy amount of some cold air right behind it, and that healthy amount of cold air is also going to ignite a high wind gust later today as well. We're talking about 40 to 50 plus mile per hour gust, prompting a wind advisory. Got one yesterday from National Weather Service. They were looking ahead here and saw that winds are going to be climbing steadily throughout the afternoon, with the highest wind gust possibly out on the Cape later on today, nearing 50 mile per hour gusts. 37 is where we are right now. Dew point temperatures also elevated just a little bit here, but it feels like the mid to upper 20s outside right now. 26 to be exact in the city of Boston. 3 to 4 to 5 degrees warmer across the board there across the eastern areas of the Commonwealth on this Thursday morning here. The temperatures that you see and also feel outside as of right now are largely not that bad. We're actually around 40 degrees for areas there south of the Cape there. Even out towards Nantucket, it feels like about 43 degrees there. But look at the wind gusts later today, friends. 30 plus mile per hour gusts, and that means temperatures are going down. We'll talk about the rest of your Thursday and, of course, the weekend, Chris, straight ahead.
Whew. All right, Jason, sounds good. Now for a look at your roadways this morning, and you can see it is just as you would expect, especially coming down 93 from the north. Almost an hour to go from 495 to the Leverett connector. And a heads up for drivers in Worcester. Look at this. Some roads near Shore Drive were icy this morning after a second water main break in less than a week. Crews had to work into the night after the break caused a sinkhole on Shore Drive right near the YMCA. The first break was in the same area Saturday. Officials say some people could have discolored water and some low water pressure. Well, President Trump says the U.S. has seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. Military members took control of the ship yesterday morning, rappelling down from helicopters. The seizure follows months of rising tension between the U.S. and Venezuela and several of those deadly U.S. military strikes on alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean. This is the first time Trump has targeted Venezuela's oil, which is its main source of revenue. Meanwhile, affordability in full focus in Washington. Lawmakers are taking up opposing plans to tackle health care costs, which are expected to skyrocket for millions of people. President Trump, meantime, continues to defend his administration's efforts at strengthening the economy. CBS's Jared Hill has more.
Today in the Senate, a split on health care.
We're fighting to reduce premiums, and specifically on the Affordable Care Act.
The chamber set to vote on dueling bills as COVID-era health care subsidies are expected to skyrocket at the end of the year. Dems pushing for an extension, Republicans a revamp.
It delivers the benefit directly to the patient, not to the insurance company, and it does it in a way that actually saves money.
Neither is expected to pass. It's the latest focus on pocketbook issues for everyday Americans. In an economic speech in Pennsylvania,
the new word is affordability.
President Trump roasted Democrats for their focus on the issue, blaming them for higher prices, as he continued Wednesday to tout his administration's successes.
The economy is roaring. I think the economy is only going to go, better with all this money pouring in.
At a grocery store in Pennsylvania, shoppers said they're still hurting.
Prices are just too high. Everything is too high.
In its focus on immigration, Wednesday, the White House also launched the website for an expedited visa program dubbed the Trump Gold Card, selling for at least $1 million to visitors who provide a substantial benefit to the U.S.
All funds go to the United States government. Could be a tremendous amount of money.
Back on Capitol Hill, the House cleared the National Defense Authorization Act. The $900 billion policy would increase pay for troops, repeal sanctions on Syria, and provide military aid to Ukraine. Next, it heads to the Senate for a vote. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, a centerpiece of the Karen Reed murder trial is headed to auction. Yeah, people will soon be able to bid on the Lexus SUV that Reed was driving the night of John O'Keefe's death. Prosecutors tried to prove she used that vehicle to run over and kill O'Keefe. Jurors cleared her of the murder charges. This auction is expected to take place sometime in January. Proceeds of the sale will go to Karen Reed. Well, new this morning, Taylor Swift opening up about her life out of the spotlight. Yeah, she sat down, had a chat with Stephen Colbert on The Late Show last night. WBZ's Anna Myler live in our satellite center with the highlights of that chat. Anna.
Chris, I'm so jealous of everyone who was in the crowd for that show. Taylor Swift appeared on The Late Show last night ahead of her docuseries dropping tomorrow, which is all about her life on and off stage during the Eras tour. She said this is when she realized that her tour was different.
When I was reading articles where it's like medical professionals are diagnosing several, all these fans who came to the Eras tour with like post-concert amnesia. They were getting like joy blackouts. And I was like, oh man, I think this one's different. I think this tour is different. And it was ultimately because of the fans connecting with what we created that made the Eras Tour what it is.
So the first 2 episodes of the 6-part docuseries comes out tomorrow, the day before the star's 36th birthday. It will give a behind-the-scenes look at her life while she was on tour. During her interview with Colbert last night, she talked about how her cats go on tour with her and they even sleep on top of her head, and how even though there were times that she came down with the flu and felt sick, she never considered canceling a show or not giving 100% for her fans. She also talked about how she would wind down after a concert.
I'll go back to the hotel, get out of the costume, into the bath, immediately into the bath, mermaid time. And then I get like the most amount of room service possible.
French fries? What's the go-to?
Everything.
Colbert also asked Taylor what her favorite songs are. She revealed that her number one favorite is All Too Well, the 10-minute version. And she also put Mirror Ball on that list, but she said she needed time to figure out her favorite top 5. Chris?
All right, good stuff, Anna. Thank you. Hey, when we get back, the Pats are getting pumped for their rematch against the Bills. What Drake May is saying about the high-stakes matchup. Way back, Amy Grant. But you know what? Nice little song there. Jason, we got wind today. We got colder temps and even some snow in the forecast for the weekend.
Yeah,
we got a little bit of snow in the forecast, just getting us into furthermore into the holiday spirit there, Chris. With temperatures cooling down, a little bit extra white stuff, I don't think it's going to be that bad, especially if there's little to no accumulations. We'll wait for a white Christmas. We'll talk about that as well as we near the Christmas holiday. I believe it's about 2 weeks from today, actually. Temperatures are in the upper 40s, around 50 degrees, believe it or not, yesterday. We've actually been well below average, so yesterday broke that streak there. We're also going to have temperatures below average again today, so we're going to be back to being below average throughout the end of the week, heading into the weekend, and certainly as we head into early next week as well. 37 outside right now, so slowly we're actually beginning to kind of dial back the temperatures here at the surface with that cold front getting ready to move off of the coast. So the Cape and the islands are still well into the 40s as of right now, especially for Nantucket there. Inland areas around the mid to upper 30s as well. There is the cold front. It's going to be marching off of the coast very soon here. And we're actually going to be dialing up our winds later on today with some of these blowing flakes getting a little bit squally moving across Pennsylvania and also New York. So let's talk about the winds, okay? Because no doubt you're going to be experiencing the winds. Definitely going to be a ponytail type of day with winds anywhere between 30 and 35 miles per hour. Just the same, look at temperatures beginning to trim back as well around 4 p.m. going back into the mid to upper 20s, around 10 p.m. landing amongst the lower 20s as well. So wind advisory in effect between 10 a.m. today and 10 a.m. tomorrow. Widespread wind gusts across the Commonwealth, Rhode Island, and also portions of northern Connecticut, at least throughout Friday morning. As for Saturday and Sunday, we're trimming back the fat even further, going back into the upper 20s and low 30s by Sunday. And look at the snowfall forecast. Not a whole lot, just enough to get you sort of in that holiday spirit. We have a big game coming for us on Sunday here, friends. The Pats versus the Bills down at Gillette. At kickoff is 1 p.m. So if you're going to be going down for tailgating on Sunday, no doubt you're going to be dealing with some scattered flakes there, perhaps even a couple snow showers moving through the region on Sunday morning around 6 to noon. And as we see temperatures are right around the freezing mark, any sort of snow will likely stick on the ground, but also being plowable as well. This is what we're watching, especially after today. Today is only going to be about the winds and the temperatures tumbling. Friday and Saturday is going to be about this system here. As of right now, the system is taking a beeline just to the south of us here, which means we're on the north side of this. And remember, areas of low pressure rotate counterclockwise, so we're actually going to be gobbling up some energy there from the Gulf of Maine, throwing it onshore, but also with that colder air, that column of air will likely be all the way from the base of the cloud to the ground, keeping temperatures feeling at or below freezing. So this is why we're likely going to have some sticking there. Long-term forecast now, the temperature outlook looks like it's going to be equal to the norm. Same with precipitation over the next week to week and a half. As of right now, looks like the days leading towards Christmas holiday in a couple weeks will likely be drier and also filled with a little bit of sunshine. So we'll take that. We're going to keep a close eye on that travel over the next couple weeks as 2025 winds down. 30s will take over through the weekend, everybody. Sunday is definitely going to be a cold day and also a snowy day, so be advised on that as we look towards Monday of next week. It's going to be the coldest of the next 7 as well, with temperatures right around freezing on Tuesday. We also have some very exciting news. Your favorite WBZ Next Weather team is launching a brand new platform for our weather watchers. Even if you are already an existing weather watcher, you need to visit our website to re-register, okay? Just go to wbz.com/WWN. You see that link there on the screen and follow the directions. It's going to prompt you and walk you through the process. And of course, we welcome any new and current new weather watchers. Chris?
Good stuff. All right. Thanks, Jason. Hey, a Weston golf course that was dubbed worst in the U.S. is about to get a multi-million-dollar makeover. Our partners at the Boston Business Journal tell us the 18-hole Leo J. Martin Memorial Golf Course is going to close next year for a $5 million upgrade. That'll be good. Improvements will include a new irrigation system, 3 new greens, and a full-time maintenance staff. Hey, UMass Memorial Healthcare is expanding its cancer care to central Massachusetts. The state's Public Health Council has approved upgrades, including the installation of proton therapy. That's at the UMass Cancer Center at Marlborough Hospital. Proton therapy is a type of treatment that offers improved radiation precision. UMass officials say the upgrades will impact thousands of people, helping them access the life-saving care they need. The project is expected to cost nearly $54 million. It'll be available for patients in February of 2028. Well, security concerns have prompted Cambridge leaders to cut ties with a security technology company. WBZ's Samantha Cheney shows us unauthorized cameras were at the heart of the issue.
Well, at a time when Cambridge police say collaboration between local governments and federal law enforcement is already strained, they've decided to end their contract with the company Flock Safety as a way to mitigate community concerns about data privacy and security. Police say Flock Safety broke their trust in November when they installed 2 automatic license readers without the city knowing, after being told to remove them all in October. We're told the additional cameras were part of an outstanding work order that should have been canceled when the city deactivated their account. In a public safety meeting yesterday, Flock addressed the issue.
And as soon as this was something that was noticed on our end in the spirit of transparency, we ensured we directly notified law enforcement. I want to clarify a couple things. Number one, at no point in time was any data searched, accessed, queried, or anything like that. Number two, the cameras are down. We removed them. There are no Flock Safety cameras in Cambridge today.
Now, city officials, they say they will continue to explore automatic license readers, but they say the technology will only be used if they can ensure the community's data will be protected. Here in Cambridge, I'm Samantha Cheney, WBZ News.
A Rhode Island woman is searching for a wedding dress after accidentally donating it to a Savers store. Simone Gilbert says she was just helping out her mom clean out her basement when the dress ended up in the donate pile instead of the save pile. Now you do it at home, right? Gilbert got engaged in June and should hope to wear the dress next year.
It would really let me actually have 3 generations of my family connected, because my great-grandmother helped my mom make the dress. My mom helped make the dress and she wore it. And my wedding day is actually on my maternal grandmother's birthday and she's passed away.
Yeah, the Savers in Warwick says it does not have the dress anymore. Gilbert hopes anyone, the person who bought it, will see the story, contact her, and she says she is more than willing to buy it back. Well, Boston Children's Hospital getting a record-setting donation from 2 local philanthropists. Rob and Karen Hale are giving $100 million to the hospital. That's the largest gift it's ever gotten. It says it will use some of the funds to build a new mental health care facility on the grounds of Franciscan Children's in Brighton. Rob Hale owns Granite Telecommunications and is co-owner of the Celtics. Moving on to sports right now, WBZ, your official home for the Patriots, who are getting ready to take on the Bills this weekend and potentially clinch a spot in the playoffs. Now, the Pats haven't lost a game since September. They previously beat the Bills in Buffalo, first matchup of the season back in October. If they win at Gillette on Sunday, it'll be their first series sweep of the Bills since 2019. They'll also wrap up a spot in the playoffs and the AFC East title. Drake May says, yeah, he's feeling the pressure, but he's also excited.
It'd be nice to play in front of our home fans. I know they'll be into it. Get a little, I'm sure some nice weather for the game, whether it's snowing or a little bit of rain or some football weather. So looking forward to that. I know it's going to be a big challenge, big game, and like I said, I think the biggest thing is just another Sunday, 1 o'clock where we're playing. So you're not trying to make it too big, but anytime your division opponent, like I said, a little bit extra.
And we've got you covered Sunday, starting with Patriots game day at 11:30 on WBZ. Pats and Bills kick at 1 o'clock, also on BZ, then turn to TV 38 afterwards for the 5th quarter postgame show. And if you're heading to the game, we hope you'll bring along a new unwrapped toy for our holiday toy drive. This is in partnership with the Patriots. Lisa Hughes and David Wade will be there collecting gifts as you enter the stadium. If you can't make it, just drop a toy off at Gillette anytime before the game or donate online at patriots.com/community. All right, after the break, the holiday visitor dropping out of the sky to surprise some young patients.
You're watching WBZ News.
This is so great. Santa came to visit Rhode Island a little early this year, but he didn't arrive in his usual sleigh. No, got a ride in the Santa copter. Take a look. Got hooked up with a harness and then just rappelled down a little bit, circled the Hasbro Children's Hospital yesterday. Kids inside could wave and see him. Afterwards, though, he did go inside to deliver some gifts. I'm Chris Tanaka. You're watching CBS News Boston. We'll be right back after the break. But first, a look ahead to 8 o'clock. Students and staff getting sick by a potential norovirus outbreak. We'll tell you the steps being taken today to make sure it's safe to return to school. And Brian Walsh's defense team set to start laying out their case this morning. What we've learned from the prosecution's final witnesses before it rested. That's all coming up at 8 o'clock. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more news and your next weather forecast.
Minutes to 8. Welcome to your Thursday morning, everybody. Temperatures where they are right now are actually going to be taking a tumble throughout the day, and that means winds are going to be dialing up as well. The cause, a strong cold front moving into the region, which is why we have a wind advisory going into effect at 10 a.m. this morning through tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. as well. Expect gusty winds, 40 to 50 miles per hour. Chris, got to hang on today.
Yeah. All right, Jason. Our top story: an elementary school in Medford is closed today because of what appears to be a norovirus outbreak. More than 130 students at the Roberts School were out sick yesterday. Before the school can reopen, crews are going to deep clean it with a special focus on the cafeteria. Hey, if you're watching us on CBS News Boston, we'll be back after a quick break. CBS Mornings continues on WBZ.
Right now on CBS News Boston, a wind advisory going into effect today. Let's talk about the changeover in temperatures and how it will affect your Thursday.
Plus, the state rests its case in the Brian Walsh murder trial, what their last witness had to say about Anna, and the next step for the defense. A Medford elementary school closed over a potential norovirus outbreak. What's being done to control this situation?
Promise you, nothing you say tonight will end up in the press.
Yeah, this
I
feels like
promise
that.
And Taylor Swift got candid with Stephen Colbert, sharing how she unwinds, and she reveals some of her favorite songs from her own catalog.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday, December 11th. I'm Paula Eben. An elementary school is closed today because of a suspected norovirus outbreak. More than 100 students and staff were all out sick yesterday, so now the district is taking steps to try to stop the spread. WBZ's Samantha Cheney is in Medford with the latest.
Well, Roberts Elementary School is closed today after Medford superintendent says 130 students were out sick yesterday, and even more students and staff members who were in school, they reported having an upset stomach. Now, they say that the school is closed today so that a professional cleaning company, they can go inside and do a deep clean while the Medford Board of Health examines equipment in the cafeteria and figures out exactly what may have caused what appears to now be a norovirus outbreak here. Often called the stomach flu, doctors say the virus is contagious and could include symptoms like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, fevers, headaches, and body aches. Now, we're told that these symptoms, they can be intense and they can come on fast, as quickly as 12 hours after being exposed, actually. So health officials, they are saying that the best way to try to avoid the spread of this virus is to ditch the hand sanitizer and to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds with soap and water. Here in Medford, I'm Samantha Cheney, WBZ News.
All right, next weather time. Let's talk about it, everybody. Let's talk about the conditions that we have unfolding across the area as of right now. For the most part, we're still actually going to be dealing with a wind advisory across the area. As we start to look at the later portion of the afternoon, temperatures are going to be falling steadily throughout the afternoon. We have temperatures along the Atlantic coast there in the mid to upper 30s as of right now. Cold front is south and east of town as well. And that means we're likely going to have some flakes moving downstream into the region. We have to talk about the temperatures. My goodness, yesterday we were right around 50 degrees here in the city. Temperatures are going to be trimming back from 36 degrees where we are right now. We've been slipping degree by degree over the past hour to hour and a half, and that will not stop. In fact, where we are right now will actually look largely and feel largely different as we near the noon hour later today. Gusty winds are going to be climbing to around 30 to 35 miles per hour here in the city. And look at this, friends, around 11 a.m., 31 degrees here in the city. Around 5 p.m., mid-20s as well. And even around bedtime, we're going to be trimming back even further to the mid to lower 20s across the area. Temperatures for the most part this weekend are not going to be that bad, but sky conditions definitely will look different between Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk about it coming up in the full weather forecast.
A man was rushed to the hospital after falling through thin ice in Lynn. This happened about 30 feet from shore on Flax Pond last night. Firefighters and police worked together to save the man. No update on his condition this morning. Also this morning, Brian Walsh's defense team will begin presenting its case. The prosecution rested yesterday after witnesses who were close to Anna Walsh testified about the state of the couple's marriage. WBZ's Penny Commit's been in the courtroom covering this trial for us. She has the latest from Dedham.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth rests.
After 48 witnesses, the state has made its argument for why they say Brian Walsh not only killed his wife Anna, but planned to on New Year's Day 2023.
She was kind of breaking down because everything had been really hard.
Prosecutors resting their case after two emotional witnesses. A close friend of Anna's, Alyssa Kirby, who testified that Anna was at a breaking point in her marriage, working in Washington, D.C., while her husband and kids stayed in Massachusetts. Brian Walsh was unable to leave the state due to his ongoing art fraud case.
She wanted her family together.
Anna came running out of the house to greet me.
and Jem Mutlu, who described spending a happy and fun New Year's Eve with the couple in 2022, just hours before Anna's death.
I always thought that there was a lot of love between them.
But Mutlu also admitted Anna had expressed problems in her marriage and recalled a photo the two of them and the Walsh's oldest child sent to Anna's boyfriend on New Year's Eve.
She never told you that she was going to leave Mr. Walsh for Will Fasto?
No.
She told me that she was open with Brian about her crush on Will and that he knew.
Anna's affair is just one reason prosecutors say Walsh planned to kill her. They also pointed to financial incentives. And today, Walsh's probation officer testifying that he had pre-scheduled time out of the house for New Year's Day.
I do think the prosecution struggled here to establish premeditated murder.
But WBZ legal analyst Jennifer Roman says a murder can be considered premeditated even if the plan came just minutes before. Is it up to the jury to decide if they want to convict Brian Walsh of second-degree murder but not first-degree murder?
If the Commonwealth can't prove every element of their case, the juries will come back and find guilty of a lesser offense.
The defense will now start presenting its case today. And remember, the judge is still deciding if jurors will be made aware that Walsh pleaded guilty to the two other charges in this case. In Dedham, I'm Penny Commit, WBZ News.
You can continue watching the Brian Walsh trial live on CBS News Boston, on the CBS News app, WBZ.com, or Pluto TV. Cambridge police are asking for the public's help trying to find a man who they say opened fire on an off-duty police officer. Investigators say the officer had just finished a shift, was not in uniform, and was sitting in his own parked car on Cambridge Street when a man walked up and fired several shots early Wednesday morning. The officer was not hurt, but police say it's not clear if the violent incident was targeted or random. Either way, people who live nearby are shaken.
Community suffers. That's who suffers, because it might not have been the cop's car. It could have been somebody that's sitting across the street because the bullet go right through it.
Anytime anybody is assaulted with a firearm, we're concerned, and we want to identify who this person is and make sure that our community is safe.
Cambridge police want anyone with information who could help them find this shooter to call them. Boston homeowners, they're going to see a major increase in their property taxes next year. The city council voted yesterday to approve new property tax rates that will raise homeowners' yearly taxes by as much as 13%. Mayor Michelle Wu had tried to shift the cost onto commercial property owners, and she says she's concerned about affordability for homeowners and renters who could see the tax hike passed on to them. New this morning, Taylor Swift opened up about her life outside the spotlight. She sat down with Stephen Colbert on The Late Show last night. WBZ's Anna Myler, one of our resident Taylor Swift fans, is in our satellite center with all the highlights. Anna?
Well, Paula, it's safe to say that I was very jealous of everyone who got to be in the crowd at the Colbert Show. Taylor Swift appeared on the show last night ahead of her docuseries dropping tomorrow, which is all about her life on and off stage during the Eras tour. And she said this is when she realized that her tour was different.
When I was reading articles where it's like medical professionals are diagnosing several, all these fans who came to the Eras tour with like post-concert amnesia. They were getting like joy blackouts. And I was like, oh man, I think this one's different. I think this tour is different. And it was ultimately because of the fans connecting with what we created that made the Eras Tour what it is.
So the first two episodes of the 6-part docuseries comes out tomorrow, the day before the star's 36th birthday. It gives a behind-the-scenes look at her life while she was on tour. During her interview with Colbert last night, she talked about how her cats go on tour with her and even sleep on her head, and how even though there were times that she came down with the flu and felt sick, she never considered canceling a show or not giving 100% for her fans. She also talked about how she would try to wind down after a concert.
I'll go back to the hotel, get out of the costume, into the bath, immediately into the bath, mermaid time. And then I get like the most amount of room service possible.
French fries? What's
Yes.
the go-to?
Everything.
Colbert also asked Taylor what her top 5 favorite songs are. She revealed that number 1 is All Too Well, the 10-minute version. And she also said Mirror Ball is somewhere on that list, but she said that she needed more time to decide the rest, Paula.
All right, Anna, thanks so much. Just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, building incredible flying contraptions for almost 100 years. We'll explore the Massachusetts business that has served generations of fun.
Welcome back, everybody. The sky that you can see there is likely going to look very similar as we go throughout the afternoon, but it's going to feel largely different. Look at that beautiful ball in the sky this morning coming above the horizon. 7:03 was our sunrise time earlier this morning. 4:12 will be the sunset time later today. So we're continuing to kind of lose a little bit more of that sunrise there. It's going to push those numbers back, and also a later sunset. But again, not that far away. We're going to start to move it the opposite direction, and we love to see and also experience that. Wind advisory. That is what we have going into effect at 10 a.m. our Thursday into our Friday morning as well. We got a plume of very cold air moving in here, friends. Again, this today will not be the coldest of the next 7. We'll talk about that as well. But look at this notch of cold air getting all the way down into Tennessee as of right now. And these 20s that you see there will likely become our temperatures as we near the afternoon later on today. Cold front is pushing off of the coast as of right now, and winds are coming downstream from Lake Erie in Ontario. And look at some of these flakes beginning to tiptoe into Vermont and also the Commonwealth as well. Earlier this morning, we had a snow squall warning firing out the New York State region there earlier this morning, but that is, again, no longer a major threat. And I'm not expecting any sort of high levels of accumulations, nor for us as we head into the afternoon. But we enjoyed the 50-degree mark that we had in several locations yesterday, 49 to be exact in Boston. So not a bad Wednesday at all. We broke that streak of 9 days in a row of being below average, but unfortunately, we're getting ready to start another one. 36 is where we are right now, down from 38 degrees earlier from when I came into work around 4 a.m. We have temperatures getting back into the 20s. Worcester already in the upper 20s, so this is what's coming on for us here into the afternoon, friends. We're going to be around 30 to 35 mile per hour gusts as we go throughout the evening hours as well. Even on Friday, we're still going to be largely gusty, around 25 to 30 plus there. But notice temperatures as we head throughout the afternoon, slowly trimming back. Around 5 p.m. we'll be in the mid-20s there, and even around bedtime we'll be around the lower 20s as well. So it is Thursday after all. We got one more day left in this work week, and then we have our eyes focused on the weekend. Mid-30s for us with a chance of flakes moving in for us on Saturday, but the best chance, unfortunately, will be arriving on Sunday. So everybody's going to be talking about what it looks like down in Foxborough this upcoming Sunday, because we have some snow moving back into the weather forecast. The forecast model is not expecting a whole lot of snow there, but I think we're actually get at least a couple inches out of this thing here in several locations across southern New England. 32 degrees is likely going to be the start of the game there for us on Sunday morning. So we're going to keep temperatures at or below freezing so we can allow any sort of snow that we receive to stay on the ground. And we'll take that right into our Monday as well. For the most part, the system as of right now will be to the south of us, and that means we're going to be on the cold side of things here. So any sort of moisture that we get out of this thing that will gobble up from the Gulf of Maine and throw back onshore will be coming onshore mainly as snow. Long-term forecast looks like we're going to be pretty much normal as we head towards the end of December there. That is the 8 to 10 day outlook. And as we look at our temperatures behind the system on Sunday, unfortunately, we're going to be in the mid to upper 20s as we head towards Monday and also Tuesday of next week. Hey, we also have some very exciting news. Your Emmy Award-winning WBZ weather team is launching a brand new platform for our famed weather watchers. And that means all new and current weather watchers need to visit our website to register. Again, if you are current weather watchers with the other platform, you have to start a new account. Just go to WBZ.com/WWN. Follow the directions. They're going to prompt you. They're going to walk you through. And of course, we're going to be very excited to have all of you on our new network.
The Cannabis Control Commission could approve social consumption today. We spoke with the commission chair, who says the new regulations are likely to pass. They would allow people to buy and use cannabis products at the same location, which would be up to each municipality to decide whether they allow social consumption sites. Even if the new rules pass today, it could take quite a while for licenses to go out. The centerpiece of the Karen Reed murder trial is headed for auction. People will be able to bid pretty soon on the Lexus SUV that Reed was driving the night of John O'Keefe's death. Prosecutors tried to prove that she used this Lexus to run over and kill O'Keefe, but jurors cleared her of murder charges. The auction is expected to take place in January, and proceeds from the sale will go to Karen Reed. A number of local veterans will catch the Army-Navy game at a big event in Woburn, and Levin is out live there this morning showing us how veterans organizations are using the game as an opportunity to help support all the men and women who've served our country. Love this event, Lev.
It's fantastic, and I've been here in Woburn at the Scoreboard Sports Bar and Grill for this event, and it's been wonderful. Andrea Manny joins us right now. Andrea, this has been a part of you since you've been here, that you've been able to put this event and see the luncheon come through, the Ahern luncheon, and how great is it?
This is my 4th year with the crowd. It's fabulous. We look forward to this every year, the crowd that we get in-house. The guests look forward to it. Plus, it's for a great cause.
When you talk about the cause, what is it like to see the Army-Navy game go on, America's game, and then see the crowd here that is trying to help one another?
It's thrilling. It's just, it's America. It's our country. We're participating.
Yeah. Tommy joins us, and Tommy Lyons. So Tommy, you've been a part of this. You've been doing events all around the country, let's just say. Only Navy guy here. What is it going to be like in here come Saturday?
Oh, it's a great tradition, and it's a great rivalry. I mean, if you're a Navy or a Marine, like I am, it's the one day that we claim to be part of the Navy. So when the Navy and the Marines get together and we team up and beat up on the Army, it's a great day.
I've got to say, Lou joins us, and when you talk about a lot of the awareness that goes into this, where people get a chance to, if you have a problem, these are services that are here. You're one of those guys that make sure that help the veteran services. What is it like to kind of answer a lot of questions?
Well, first of all, thank you for being here and helping us get the word out. I mean, where else can you go and spend time with like-minded vets and their families to celebrate America's game, and also have all the connections here to help. 22 veterans a day are still committing suicide, and we're committed to helping them. So obviously, if you have a problem, if you need help, reach out. We're here for you. But again, thank you for being here to help us get the word out.
Say that number again so people understand how important it is to make sure that you're able to be, even if you feel vulnerable, you got to get out there and talk to others.
That's right. 22 veterans a day are committing suicide. And that's why we wear the honor ring, to bring awareness to it. So people ask, why are you wearing that ring? So we can make sure the veterans are out there getting help. And that's what we're here for. The Department of Veteran Services. We're the only state, Massachusetts is the only state with a VSO in every city and town.
Andrea, who you rooting for, Army or Navy?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know what she said. Okay. I put her in the spot right there. By the way, she's rooting for Air Force. Paula, back to you.
Hey, tell them. Fun fact, Levin, when my brother played at Army, his plebe football coach was Bill Parcells. So he was
okay. I'll let them know.
There. All right, it's going to be a great game. Thanks, Levin. Right about now, the stress and pressure is mounting on parents to start scrambling for the perfect gifts for those kids. So how about something affordable that gets them outside, oozes nostalgia, and it's made right here in Massachusetts. WBZ's Chris Tanaka has the perfect toy.
It happens here. Wakefield. The Middlesex County town was built on manufacturing. There's still one company making its products the way it was done 100 years ago.
This is a
iconic business that we have here. And it's, our gliders and toys have been sold all over the world.
This is Gwillows. Founded by Paul Gwillow in 1926, the model airplane and toy glider company will celebrate its centennial next year. President Tom Barker has been here for half that time.
So straight out of Wakefield High School, I came here and I started in 1975 and never left.
Tom's been with the company for 50 years, stewarding advances in manufacturing,
laser cut wood, which is fantastic,
while shepherding a tradition built on generations of customers.
It's a great activity for father, son, mother, daughter, whatever, to put something together and go out and fly it and get away from the screen time.
These balsa wood gliders sell for as little as $3, come together in just seconds, and are just as entertaining as when you were a kid.
Oh, cool! Yeah! Oh, wow!
American made, American played for 100 years strong.
One of those things that there's not too many toys out there that are actually made in the U.S. and that, any kid could play with. Anywhere from 3 years old to 90.
Gwillows was just named to the National Made in America Holiday Gift Guide. They have more than 70 models, some with higher price points, but you can probably find just about everything you need. Just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, another chance to score World Cup tickets today. How you can enter the latest drawing.
It Happens Here is brought to you by Safety Insurance. We'll help you manage life's storms. You're watching WBZ News.
That's going to be the toughest ticket to get next summer. FIFA is rolling out its next phase of ticket sales for the World Cup today. So starting at 11 a.m., soccer fans can register to get tickets for specific matches. To enter the drawing, you head to the FIFA website, select a game, ticket category, and number of tickets. Registration's open until January 13th, and then FIFA will select winners in February. Coming up next, the new efforts in Massachusetts to make accessory dwelling units more available.
You're watching WBZ News.
Massachusetts is ramping up its efforts to permit more accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, across the state. The governor toured an ADU in Lexington yesterday, saying that the state has seen a massive increase in applications for these small homes. She wants to help the process along, announcing a state contest that offers prize money to those who make ADU designs publicly available.
First 6 months of changing the law, we've seen over 1,000 applications for ADUs. They're hot. People want them. They're easy to build. They don't take much time, and they're a great option.
Well, Mass Housing's authorized up to $20 million for an ADU loan program. It's expected to be up and running early next year. And WBZ's David Wade did a full report on ADUs as part of our Question Everything series. So to see how these houses work and the new construction freedom the law allows, go to WBZ.com. Still to come in our next half hour, Steve Burton and ESPN's Mike Reese preview the pivotal matchup between the Patriots and the Bills.
CBS News Boston is now streaming live on our YouTube channel every morning from 7 to 10 a.m. So if you're watching us streaming on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel, CBS News Boston. Now, streaming on CBS News Boston, WBZ News Mornings continues with your top stories.
Right now on CBS News Boston, the Senate set to vote today on two different partisan health care bills to address the coming price hike for Americans who rely on the Affordable Care Act. Plus, local World War II veterans revisiting the battlefields they helped liberate 80 years ago. And the Patriots getting pumped for their rematch against the Bills. What our First Down crew is saying about this high-stakes game. Welcome back. I'm Paula Eben. This week, affordability is the full focus in Washington, D.C. Lawmakers are taking up opposing plans to tackle health care costs that are expected to skyrocket for millions of Americans. Meanwhile, President Trump continues to defend his administration's efforts at strengthening the economy. Jared Hill of CBS has more.
Today in the Senate, a split on health care.
We're fighting to reduce premiums, and specifically on the Affordable Care Act.
The chamber set to vote on dueling bills as COVID-era health care subsidies are expected to skyrocket at the end of the year. Dems pushing for an extension, Republicans a revamp.
It delivers the benefit directly to the patient, not to the insurance company, and it does it in a way that actually saves money.
Neither is expected to pass. It's the latest focus on pocketbook issues for everyday Americans. In an economic speech in Pennsylvania,
the new word is affordability.
President Trump roasted Democrats for their focus on the issue, blaming them for higher prices, as he continued Wednesday to tout his administration's successes.
The economy is roaring. I think the economy is only going to go, better with all this money pouring in.
At a grocery store in Pennsylvania, shoppers said they're still hurting.
Prices are just too high. Everything is too high.
In its focus on immigration, Wednesday, the White House also launched the website for an expedited visa program dubbed the Trump Gold Card, selling for at least $1 million to visitors who provide a substantial benefit to the U.S.
All funds go to the United States government. Could be a tremendous amount of money.
Back on Capitol Hill, the House cleared the National Defense Authorization Act. The $900 billion policy would increase pay for troops, repeal sanctions on Syria, and provide military aid to Ukraine. Next, it heads to the Senate for a vote. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, today will be all about the winds. Unfortunately, we're talking about 30 to 40 plus mile per hour gusts all across southern New England again for today, even reaching down into Rhode Island and also Connecticut as well. That wind advisory begins at 10 a.m. for our Thursday here and carries over into tomorrow morning around 10 a.m. as well for our Friday. Cold front, we can wave goodbye to that. But again, it's actually going to be bringing in some colder temperatures and perhaps even some blowing flakes as we kind of set the stage as we get nearer to the Christmas holiday, which I believe is about 2 weeks away. 36 degrees in our beautiful city right now. We have magnificent sunshine outside right now. And take a closer look at the temperatures, okay? This is where we are as of right now. 34 in Bedford, 29 already in Worcester, 31 for Fitchburg. And look at this, Lawrence at 35, P-Town about 39 degrees along with Chatham, Hyannis as well as the Vineyard there. But again, as we move into the afternoon, unfortunately, temperatures will be taking a tumble. We are no longer dealing with the 49 to 50 degrees that we had in and around the city yesterday. In fact, we're talking about temperatures feeling like the upper teens and low 20s by the end of the day today. So those winds are going to be gusting in town around 30 to 35 miles per hour and even around 2 p.m. Look at that, 29 degrees in the city, 11 p.m. feels like about 22 degrees. We'll talk about your Friday and, of course, talk about your weekend and especially talk about your tailgating forecast, all coming up in the full weather forecast.
President Trump says that the U.S. has seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. Military members took control of the ship yesterday morning, rappelling down to the ship from helicopters. The seizure follows months of rising tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela and several deadly U.S. strikes on alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean. Now, this is the first time that President Trump's administration has targeted Venezuela's oil, its main source of revenue. A Boston Medical Center security guard is in critical condition. He was stabbed in the leg after confronting a man over stolen items. That suspect faced a judge late yesterday. As WBZ's Logan Hall reports, the hospital says the safety of its employees remains a top priority, but one union is questioning whether enough has been done.
Prosecutors describing a violent scene outside a Boston Medical Center where they say 37-year-old Brandon Bannister stabbed a security guard.
While public safety officers were attempting to gain control of Bannister, the victim realized that he was stabbed to his right leg and began hopping on one leg towards the entrance and proceeded to escort himself to Trauma 3.
Another security guard was slashed in his protective vest. Bannister was charged with 2 counts of assault with a deadly weapon as well as trafficking more than 18 grams of cocaine.
During the search incident to arrest, officers located a plastic bag containing a white rock-like substance believed to be crack cocaine off of the defendant, Mr. Bannister's person.
Defense attorneys for Bannister say he was at the hospital for the birth of his child when the altercation occurred.
He was in the hospital room with the mother of his child as she was in labor. She asked him to leave the room, and he did with his items. As he was leaving the room, he was stopped by hospital security. They accused him of taking things that weren't his. Those items were his, and then the altercation ensued from there. But the point that I'm making is that he has a child that has either just been born or is about to be born as he's here in court today.
Healthcare unions say this is part of a troubling trend in the area. Executive Vice President of 1199 SEIU United Healthcare Workers East said in a statement, quote, "We need our healthcare institutions and our state leaders alike to do more to protect the frontline workers who keep our healthcare system running." Bannister is being held on $50,000 bail and is expected to be back in court next month. Reporting in Boston, I'm Logan Hall, WBZ News.
World War II veterans from Massachusetts are heading back to Europe to mark 80 years since they fought in the Battle of the Bulge. Of course, so many of them were teenage boys at the time. 7 veterans received an emotional send-off last night before they headed to the airport to fly to Belgium. Their trip was organized by a Boston police officer who's helped bring dozens of World War II veterans to Europe in recent years. 101-year-old Les Schrenk was a pilot in the war. He says he has a lot of memories, and he's excited to go back to the place where he helped change the world.
No, it's not going to be just like it was when I was there, but I'm looking forward to see everything, and there's going to be so many people that maybe I can see and recognize. It's just an exciting trip. I'm honored to be a part of it.
The Battle of the Bulge was a pivotal victory over Germany and helped the Allies ultimately win the war. Well, the Patriots are getting ready to take on the Bills this weekend and potentially clinch a playoff spot. The Pats haven't lost a game now since September, and they previously beat Buffalo in their first matchup of the season back in October. Now, if the Pats win at Gillette on Sunday, it will be their first sweep against the Bills since 2019, and they'll also secure a spot in the playoffs. Our Steve Burton and ESPN's Mike Reese talked about the matchup ahead.
Did they win the bye?
I love it.
Did the Patriots win the bye?
They did, and here's why.
You can tell already?
Yes. You heard Nikki G. Jared Wilson back at left guard. Win. Kyrus Tonga back at defensive tackle. Full participant. Win. Brennan Schooler, all-pro special teamer. Back at practice. Full participant. So to me, Steve, like that's how you win the bye. You get healthy with guys that can get healthy. We know Milton Williams still on injured reserve, not an option. Will Campbell, injured reserve, not an option. But to me, that's a win on the bye.
That's a great point. You know, getting healthy, coming off this bye. We know Vrabel's record after the bye, 6-0.
Yes.
And now what? Do you tighten the ropes a little bit?
I love it, Steve.
Now we're going down the stretch.
I love it, Steve. So you mentioned Vrabel, 6-0 after the bye. Teams in the NFL this year, 16-12 after the bye. So what that tells you is that the bye doesn't guarantee you a win the next week. So what do? Mike Vrabel said, let's crank this thing back up. He wanted energy at practice on Monday. He felt like he got it. He wanted energy back today on Wednesday. He felt like they got it. Steve, it felt big down there. It felt big down there today. Like old times. Like it felt like a bit like this this might be the biggest game since Tom Brady's last game as a Patriot.
You know, I said that at 5 o'clock.
That's the
No, actually I said this is the biggest game at home for the Patriots.
That's what I meant.
Since Brady returned to play.
And I think that's true because that was an event.
Right, there was an event.
I was thinking more of the stakes of the game. There were no stakes. But
the stakes.
You and me, similar. I like that.
We've got you covered on Sunday, starting with Patriots game day at 11:30 on WBZ. Pats and Bills kick off at 1 o'clock, also on BZ. Then turn to TV 38 after the game for the 5th quarter. If you're headed to the game, by the way, we hope you'll bring along a new unwrapped toy for our holiday toy drive in partnership with the Patriots. Lacey Hughes and David Wade will be there collecting toys as you enter the stadium. If you can't make it, just drop a toy off at Gillette anytime before the game or donate online at patriots.com/community. Still to come on CBS News Boston, making ballet available to all audiences. Coming up, the Ballet Theater with local children involved in a very magical production.
Okay, welcome back, friends. Let's talk about your weather forecast for your Thursday here. We have high winds, unfortunately, moving into the forecast again today. We're talking about 40 to 50 plus mile per hour gusts there with that wind advisory. Coming on the heels of our cold front, we're getting ready to say goodbye to that, and that will allow for not only still dry conditions, but also so few blowing flakes coming off of the Great Lakes as we move deeper into the afternoon, and those winds climb even higher. As the winds climb higher, so does the temperatures go down even further. We're at 36 degrees, down from 38 earlier this morning. We're trimming back our temperatures as we move throughout the afternoon there. More of the mid to upper 20s around noon later today, and the mid to lower 20s as we head deeper into the afternoon. Yesterday felt nice, did it not? We had temperatures right around 50 degrees in the city there. Some areas even made it to 50. I'm talking mainly towards the Cape and even the islands there. As we look for the remainder of our Thursday being filled with a lot of sunshine, we are expecting increasing clouds over the next 24 to 36 hours. But for the most part, we're expecting a relatively quiet evening there. Unfortunately, as we start to get into the peak heat hours of the day, which is normally around 1 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon, this will actually not be that day, but we're going to experience that. It's actually going to be the opposite. Temperatures are going to be going down even further now in the wake of the cold front that passed. So sunset, 4:12 later this evening, coming off the heels of a gorgeous sunrise earlier this morning, 7:03. So look at where we're going overnight tonight here, friends. Temperatures are going to be getting back into the mid to upper teens there in the city, 20s in areas south, and maybe around the mid to upper 20s once you get out towards the Cape and even the islands there further. But again, the colder air that's moving in the heels of that cold front is the cause for that. Tomorrow's relatively quiet. We'll have some increasing clouds moving from Friday to Saturday. And looking from Saturday to early Sunday, mid-30s expected on Saturday. A few blowing flicks are going to be likely there. And as we look towards Sunday as well, not only will temperatures to be going down, but we actually have another system to watch to thank for that. So we're likely going to have some accumulating snow by the time we get to Sunday as well. Today we'll start to begin to put some numbers together for you so you know exactly how your Sunday is going to unfold. But it actually begins in the morning hours for us on Sunday and spills over into the game day time. So we'll be right around freezing for the start of the game, and by the finish of the game, we're actually going to be feeling largely and back into the upper teens and lower 20s, even though air temperatures will be around the mid-20s as well. So keep an eye on the clock in your place on the map. This is Sunday morning around 5, already showing a little bit of white stuff in areas south there, south of the Mass Pike. For the most part, Connecticut and Rhode Island will likely be gobbling up the best snow chances there, even as well down towards the Delmarva region, also the Delaware Valley region area, the southern PA, as well as down towards New Jersey. That moves off of the coast of the Jersey Shore there, and then it's also going to throw back some extra energy coming onshore there. So the coastline will likely have a very similar threat, perhaps even a nor'easter for this time of year. So we're going to be on the north side, plenty of cold air, and to sustain some accumulating and also sticking snow. Equal chances of keeping our temperatures near average over the next couple weeks. Same goes for precip. So looking even further out, not only are we still going to be dealing with a lot of cold air, we got a lot of cold air out ahead of us, but also some very cold overnights as well. Again, keeping our eyes on Sunday with that snow, but a very cold as we look towards Monday.
Jason, thanks. The Nutcracker has truly become an essential part of the holiday season, and the Jose Mateo Ballet Theater is presenting their very own enchanting version of the Nutcracker in Dorchester, and it's going to be the 37th season. The theater is providing 6,000 free and reduced price tickets to make the ballet experience accessible to all audiences. Our Courtney Cole spoke with Jose Mateo about the production.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, Mr. Mateo, many of us are familiar with the story of the Nutcracker, but your version is special. Let's talk about how you have used dance over the years to help a diverse audience really learn to love and enjoy ballet.
Okay, well, I think the fundamental glue behind everything we do is really the music. And so selecting music that has the potential to appeal to a lot of people. But more than that is the way we relate to the music. Mm-hmm. I think everyone in every culture understands movement and how it can relate to music. And so you use that as the common language to reach across all sorts of differences among people, rather than stick to one particular set of cultural standards that might speak very loudly to one group, but maybe alienates another. So yeah, the way we deal with music, I'd like to say the way we deal with movement that we try to make as universal as possible.
Okay, and considering this is the 37th season, I would say that you've got that down. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It's been a long run, for sure.
Now, more than 100 children are participating in this year's production, including 15 local children from the greater Boston area. We know the parents eat it up. They love to see their babies up there. But let's talk about the children who are going to come and watch. One thing, they can actually dance with the Jose Mateo Ballet Theater, one, and two, dance is just such a meaningful way to develop children. They're having fun, but they don't know how much more they're really getting from it too.
Right. No, it's I think a very strong growing experience for, I would say, every single child that participates. At the end of the day, comes out of the other end of the experience having evolved. And it has to do with many of the things that are present in other activities. But I do believe that dance is a particularly suitable medium for bringing people together and really bringing people out of themselves as well. So the idea that they have to learn something, and the rehearsals require a lot of discipline, of course, and that they will be presenting this to an audience, I think sets them up for an experience that is very unique in a way. And then, of course, they all feel very proud. They feel like they've learned something and they actually have acquired new skills. So we're always very proud of the children.
Yes, we are. And another beautiful thing about this production, you all are making the production welcoming for all audience. You're making it accessible. Talk to me about that.
Absolutely. Ballet has a very unusual history, and it has parts of that history are not things we would be very proud of, but the potential for that art form to really speak to everyone is incredibly high. It just hasn't been exploited in that sense. And so what we're trying to do is take a very traditional art form that, like most cultural expressions, come from a specific time and a specific place, and use it to illustrate how the potential of dance in general can really engage anyone. So it's all human movement. And so it's a particular vocabulary in the way that any other dance form has its movement vocabulary. The question is, how expertly do we manipulate that movement vocabulary, and how sincerely can we express it in an inviting way that makes people understand that it's being presented for them. So it's a matter of giving a performance, or giving a giving performance that people sense is really meant to connect with them.
And speaking of giving performance, we want to make sure before we go, tell people how they can purchase tickets.
Tickets, I would say go online. We have, I believe, another 11 performances left. So if you were to go to ballettheater.org, that's our website, or just Google it, we will come up. And we're at the Strand, and it should be easy to find. And we have all sorts of ways of making it affordable and accessible to everyone.
Coming up in the next hour, it's day 9 of the murder trial of Brian Walsh, the Cohasset man accused of killing his wife, Anna. Today, his defense team will present its case. We will carry that live all morning on CBS News Boston. 8:53. Good morning, everybody. I'm Paula Evan. Meteorologist Jason Michaels here with your next weather forecast. You're going to step out the door and think, it's not so bad, but then it's just going to get colder all day.
Yeah, you might be fishing for a ponytail holder later today here, Paula, because the winds are going to be climbing. You're going to be elevated around 30 to 35 mile per hour gusts here in the city and 40 plus for the Cape and the Islands later today. We do have a wind advisory going into effect just over an hour. It begins at 10 a.m. later today and carries about 24 hours out to tomorrow morning as well. As a result of the winds coming off of the heels of the cold front that moved off of the coast there just about 30 minutes or so ago, it will take temperatures unfortunately tumbling. So where we are right now is sort of still dealing with the warmest air of the day. Even around noon, we're actually going to be right around freezing. And of course, we're going to have those high winds. So it's definitely going to be feeling like the teens by the time you go to bed later on this evening and throughout the overnight. We'll likely land amongst the teens as we wake up for our Friday morning. Still filled with some sunshine, though. Increasing clouds between Friday and Saturday. A few blowing flakes there. And we're also keeping a very close eye on a snowstorm likely to move into the region for us on Sunday, which will possibly affect game day, especially some of the tailgaters there. Coldest air of the next 7 will be on Monday.
All right, Jason, thanks. Today, we have a little bit of a slower commute in all these cold temperatures. Look at that, longer on the split to the Mass Pike, well over an hour, 495 to the Leverett Connector, and almost an hour coming in 495 on the Mass Pike to Boston. Route 24 is looking pretty typical, though. The defense is set to begin laying out its case in the Brian Walsh murder trial this morning, and here are your top stories. The prosecution rested its case yesterday after the jury heard emotional testimony from a friend of the Walshes who had actually spent New Year's Eve with the couple just hours before Anna died, as well as a close friend of Anna's. Both spoke to the state of the couple's marriage. You can continue to watch the Brian Walsh trial live on our free streaming service, CBS News Boston, or on the CBS News app, WBZ.com, or Pluto TV. Well, elementary school in Medford is closed today because so many are sick. It appears to be a norovirus outbreak. More than 130 students at the Roberts School were out sick yesterday, staff as well, with this highly contagious stomach bug. And before the school reopens, crews will deep clean. Happening now, it's day 9 in the murder trial of Brian Walsh, the Cohasset man accused of killing his wife, Anna. Things seem to be getting underway in court. Let's listen in.
To make findings of fact and determine the guilt or innocence of the accused without regard to probable punishment. To inform jurors of a sentencing consequence of their verdicts is to invite a results-oriented verdict and possible deviation from the basic issues of the defendant's guilt or innocence. I also cite to Commonwealth v. Sanchez, 70 Mass Appellate Court, 699-701, 2007. While the defendant here is not seeking to enter evidence of the possible consequences of a guilty verdict on the murder charge, the rationale behind the holding in a juvenile applies with equal force. If the defense was permitted to tell the jury that he pled guilty to the 2 lesser charges, there is a risk, substantial risk, that the jurors will consider the defendant's impending punishment on those charges when determining his guilt on the remaining murder charge. Indeed, the defendant has not offered any other rationale for the entrance of such evidence. And as was stated in Commonwealth versus Ferreira, 373 Mass 116-124, 1977 case, the jury's function is not to weigh possible verdicts with an eye towards dispensing mercy in certain cases or imposing heavier penalties in others. Rather, the jury's function is solely one of fact-finding with respect to the legal standards regarding innocence